Okay, we're going to do the operational video of the 950-4. We'll go over some of the key features and then we'll go over how to turn it on. Okay, we're going to start by turning on the main power. After you turn on the main power, turn on the control circuit. Wait a couple seconds. You can turn on the machine power. Next we have the jam eject. You can turn that on or off. Fourth head, on or off. Toggle the clamps, jam clamps, on or off. Then you have the hinge drills. You can turn those on or off. We also have the resets for router 1, 2, 3, and 4. When you turn on the control circuit, you should see all 6 lights lit up. Control power, overload relay, e-stop, stop, start, and 24 DC. Next, we'll make sure we turn our air on. Clear. Once the tank fills completely, we can go ahead and start our job. This particular customer has 26-inch hinge locations, center to center. As you can see here, the first head is set at 26 inches. This particular customer has its first hinge location at 7.836. Tighten this, loosen this kip handle, drop this down, bring this over. We have one pin that is, or 2 pins that are 1 inch each. Lock this down, and that sets our jam stop for head 1. If you're doing a 3.5-inch hinge with 3 locations, this would be your right-hand jam stop. You can drop that down. This would be your reference for your jam. For a 8.0 door with a 4 hinge, 4 inches, this would be your right-hand jam stop. Again, 1 inch and 1 inch pin. Bring it over to the edge, lock it down with the T-handle, and this would be your left-hand stop. On head 2, you have an in-position eye for the jam. That will be used for the 3-head operation for 3.5-inch hinges or 4-inch hinges that are on a 6/8 door. Head 4 has another sensor on it. This would only be used when you're using the head 4 operation, both in 3.5 and 4-inch hinges. It's the jam in position eye. Head 2 is a fixed location. You cannot move it. Head 3 has a 26-inch center-to-center hinge spec for our customer, and you'll see right here that it's set at 26 inches. Head 4 would be 52. If you wanted to change the hinge centers for a different setup, you can loosen these kip handles. There's one on the right and one on the left. And let's say we're going to a 28-inch hinge center. You wanted to get your first head to here. You would loosen up your first jam stop, and you'd use this wheel here to adjust it to 28. Then tighten the kip handles back up. This is for head 1. For head 3, because remember head 2 is fixed, you would loosen the kip handles in head 3. Then you could use the inner handle to adjust to your 28. Head 4 is similar. Adjust your kip handles, loosen them up. Use the outer wheel to move your 4th location to 54 inches, which will give you your 28 centers for all 4 head locations. You have a foot pedal that can clamp the jam or stop the sequence. On head 2, you have an emergency e-stop. You can turn on and off, as well as the hands-free operation. Once you got your jam in place and your jam clamped with your foot pedal, you'd cover both photo eyes to start the process. We're going to take our jam, put it in place, referencing the dado, up against it tight. Use the jam clamp foot pedal. To start the process, use the hands free. To change from a left hand to a right hand stop, loosen the T-handle, move it out of the way, tighten the T-handle back up. We'll go to the other side. We'll take the right hand jam, loosen it up, put it in place, make sure it's tied up against it, lock the T-handle. Okay, doing the other side. Bring it right up to the dado, end stop, push it up against it, hit the jam clamp, ready to go. To change the pin configuration, you want to make the machine safe. Turn off the control circuit, turn off the main control power. Make sure you lock out, tag out. You want to do the same with the air. De-energize the air off, and make sure you lock out, tag out. To go from 4" to 3.5, you're going to remove these pins. These are 7/8 pins. We're going to go into an 1.125" for the 3.5" hinge. We'll move the router over. We'll do the same on the other side. Bring the router back over. You'll do this operation on all 4 heads. We're going to change the pin for the back set for the hinge. We're going to grab this tool. We're going to insert it. You might want to wear gloves for this, but you take this, screw it into that 1/4 hole. Once you got that in there, pull this out, and then you'll take this and that pin right there. You're going to pull that pin out. This was for the 4" hinges. We're going to replace it with an 1.25" pin for 3.5" hinges. This is a little tricky. Gotta get your hands in there. Once that pin is back in location, you'll take this stop plate, reinstall it, push it all the way in, then unscrew the tool. You'll do this for all 4 heads. Now that we got all the pins changed on the heads, we're going to change the stop pins. Go from the 4", which is 1" long, to the 3/4" inch for the 3" hinge. Now you can adjust your kip handle, bring it into your stop, tighten the T-handle. You'll do the same on the left hand and right hand side. For the 3 hinge operation, you will change this pin from the 7/8 to the 3/4. For the 4 hinge location, you'll change the last 1" to the 3/4 and put it in location. Now that we've changed all our pins, we want to turn the air back on. Air on. Take your lockout, tag out off, turn on the main power. Turn on the control circuit, turn on machine power, and make sure you turn the hinge drills off for the 3.5" hinges. Put it up against the dado, clamp the jam, hands free. You can turn off the jam eject. With the jam eject off, when you clamp it up and run it, the jam will just stay in place. If you wanted to make an adjustment in the pocket depth, you can loosen these 2 T-handles, raise up the router, you will loosen the jam nut, you go out with the bolt to make the pocket shallower, you go in with the bolt if you wanted to make the pocket deeper. Tighten the jam nut back up, drop it back down on top of the turret, and then tighten the T-handles. If the jam reveal needs to be changed microly, like by 5 or 10 thousandths, you would adjust this on this jam nut and cylinder, adjusting this all thread in or out. This should be the last resort. Normally you can make these adjustments with different pins for the 3.5 to 4, but if you had one pocket that was consistently off, you can make micro adjustments using this. To run just 3 heads, you'll turn the 4th head off. To do the 3 head configuration, up against the jam stop for the 6870 jam. Clamp it, start it. If you need to adjust the edge clamps for different widths of a jamb, loosen these two bolts and you can adjust accordingly. You want to just barely clamp the jamb when it goes in and tighten the bolts. If the jamb width is greater than 6 or 7 inches, you might need to put these extra spacers in it. You got 2 extra bolts. We'll do that now. Start by loosening these bolts as you did before. But this time you'll take them completely out. You will take the spacer, put it in place. Put the bolts back in at the extended location. Take the other 2 provided bolts, now this can adjust up to a 10-inch jamb. Make sure you tighten all the bolts. To change the drill bits, if you have a broken drill bit or you want to change to a different size, you'll take out these 3 socket head cap screws and remove the cover. To change the drill bits, you'll use this T-handle that's provided by Kval. You install it into the drill chuck, turn it out, replace the bit. Put the new one in, set it to the right height, and tighten it down. Measure the height of the other ones before you pull it, and then reinstall the cover. To shut it down at the end of the day, kill the air, turn off the control power, and turn off the main power switch. To start maintenance on this machine, make sure you lock out, tag out the power, and lock out, tag out the air. Maintenance wise, you want to make sure you grease all the linear bearings. You have a zerk fitting here and here on both sides. The side shift, you have a zerk fitting here and here, as well as here and there. For the vertical, you have one here and one there, and same on the other side. There and there. On the handles, you have a grease fitting on each one of the bearings. Same on the other side. At the end of the day, every day, you should blow off the machine, keep a nice, clean, tidy work area. The other maintenance you should do is make sure your filter is clean and that you're full of Kval oil. We haven't put oil in this yet because we're getting ready to ship the machine. We do not ship them with oil in them. Okay, we're going to start to replace the chip out. Make sure that the machine is locked out, tagged out, both with the air and electrical. We will start with backing out the jamb nut. This is what holds the chip out in place, along with the second bolt here. And then we're going to loosen the bolt that touches the block. At this point, we will take a crowbar or a piece of wood and go inside of the tube and push the block forward. Now we'll replace the chip out, just pulling it forward. So remove the chip out block. You got one other side, slide it back in. Slide it into about here, and then we're gonna tighten the screw up a little bit, so put some resistance on it. We'll tighten the screw up to put just a little resistance on the chip out block so we can push it in with the jamb up against the stop. Now we'll take the jamb, put it in place, and push it up against tightly against the stop. Now we'll have to tighten that same bolt. Now I'll reach through and hold the jamb tightly up against the head and tighten this bolt snug. This will hold that block in place. Now I'll take the jamb nut, bring it up tight, and tighten the jamb nut, which will hold the whole mechanism in place. Now we're ready to burn the chip out routine. Make sure when you're getting ready to burn the chip out that you're in 4.5 inch configuration. You'll have to burn another chip out if you want to do a 3.5. Okay, we'll pull the E-stop to make sure it's clear. After removing the lockout tag out, turn the main power back on. Turn the control circuit back on. And start the machine. After starting the machine, make sure you turn the air back on after taking out the lockout tag out. We'll turn the burn the chip out routine on. Remember that if head 4 is turned off, it will only burn the chip outs for head 1, 2, and 3. If you want head 4 chip out to be burnt, you must turn on head 4. I'm going to make sure the hinge drills are off because there's no need for them for burning the chip out. With the burn the chip out routine switch on, we're going to put a jamb in place, hit the jamb clamp, and just run the routine. Now make sure you go turn the burn the chip out routine off. Now you can run your jamb machine as normal.